What's going on, y'all? I'm Grateful Ambassadors.
Hey.
Hidetoshi Yosuke.
Super Miles.
So, Miles.
Yes, Mike.
Guess what I did on the 2nd of October?
What'd you do?
I took my ass all the way out to Tyson's Corner to see the My Hero Academia movie.
Hey. How was it?
It was freaking fantastic. I'm not even gonna hold back on it.
I'm glad we're talking about something positive.
Now I won't say I didn't really have anything negative happen in the movie. I mean, there were certain parts that you might look at later. But anyway, just to give you a premise of the movie. The premise of the movie is Deku is invited by All Might to go to this scientist island thing. Basically. And he meets All Might's old friend from back when All Might was young. And Deku's like, oh wow, because he was the one that made every outfit we've ever seen All Might wear. Well, I mean, we've only seen him wear one, but every outfit that All Might's ever had as he was coming up was made by him. Yeah, he was basically his Edna mode.
No capes.
Except, All Might wears nothing but capes.
All right.
But, yeah, and while they're there, basically some villains pop up. And so, All Might gets restrained for a majority of the movie, and it's up to basically Class 1A, which was really Deku, Bakugo.
The top three, I'm sure.
Oh, no. I mean, mostly it's Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki, the most you see. Lita's there, Yaoyorozu, Mineta.
Why do you call it? I'm sorry, I gotta stop you right there. His name is Ida, okay?
His name's Lita.
His name is Ida. It's I-I-D-A. It's capitalized
Nobody it's Lita.
It's Ida.
It's okay. Sure.
I'm sorry,
Ida.
Man.
It wouldn't be Ida. It's Lita, you retard.
It's Ida.
It's not Ida. I'll deal with that later. Anyway. So yeah, it's basically Class 1A kind of showing off. But the part of the movie that makes it like, oh shit, is... So basically Deku gets to know the All Might's friend. His name's David Spade. He gets to know his daughter. And she also is a scientist. Was it David Spade? I'm sorry, it's probably not David Spade. I don't remember his last name. But his first name is David. And he gets to know his daughter Melissa.
Chris Farley comes out of nowhere.
She's a scientist too. But she made a device that she basically thought of because of All Might. Like, she calls him her uncle. And she gives it to Deku, which basically would allow him to use his arm at 100% the whole time. He only has it on the one arm, though. But, yeah, so that was the part that I was like, oh, Deku at 100%. At least sort of. That's pretty cool. So, yeah. Now, let's get to the nitpicky parts. I'm
already nitpicking.
So, the only part of it that irritated me is so later on Deku and All Might had a team up, which of course is the highlight of the movie because anybody that follows the anime or the manga, that can no longer happen.
I'm about to say, so are we gonna speak on this as for the manga readers or for the anime? Because
regardless of if you
haven't read it, I'm gonna spoil something.
I mean, obviously if you haven't, anybody that's only watching the anime, there's this big spoiler coming up. If you don't want to know it, I'd suggest.
But you heard at the beginning, he thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, so in the middle of when Deku and All Might are teaming up, there's a moment when, All Might is kicking it. Now it's All Might, so he's kicking it fast. Deku, who shouldn't be able to, is keeping up with him. Going hard. It looked cool. Don't get me wrong. The whole scene was dope. But I was just like, how is Deku keeping up with him? He already said the most he can hit is 5%. And technically right now, because based on where the movie is taking place, he can only do 5%. He's not at the 8%. If anybody has seen that last episode with him and Bakugo when he fought, he's not at 8%. He's only at 5%. So I don't know how he jumped from that to 100%. But whatever. with the fists, the whole gauntlet thing was cool. And of course, for movie purposes, and I mean, it's a movie, so technically nothing's going to carry over anyway. But, it broke. So it's like, yeah, he can't keep doing that. Although that would have been
should have went to Hatsume.
But, right.
Okay.
But,
because he got the same result.
So, yeah. Now, the twist in it was the villain. The reason the villain came there was because, I mean, I would say for anybody that's waiting to see the movie, but in all honesty, you gotta wait till it comes out on DVD anyway. All for One was the one that basically hired him to go do this.
Makes sense.
And it's crazy because so basically what it was that David created a device so that All Might could keep using his powers because he knew about his powers deteriorating. So he created a device that would allow it basically would amplify his muscles so he would be able to stay All Might longer. Basically, he'd be able to stay in his form and be able to fight much longer. Well, the whole point was the whole story gets kind of stupid because it's like basically when he created this device, the board was like, oh, your device is, like they always do. Your device is pushing too far in the boundaries. You can't do that, blah, blah, blah. So they confiscated it from him. So him and his assistant decided to come up with this whole plot of hiring villains to basically come steal it. And then they would give it back to them, but they paid the villains. Well, yeah, when they tried to hire the villains, All for One hired some actual villains to go there. And then, basically, as All Might was going to beat that ass, one of them decided to put it on. And there was even a part in there where, All Might was trying to go in, and then he caught All Might. And he basically tells him that All for One's the one that hired him. The coolest part of him telling him that, though, they played, and this is how I knew before he even said it. They started playing the All for One music, and I was like, nigga, no. I was like, no, they didn't. And then they do a little flash of All for One with his helmet on and him talking, and I was like, oh, I love this right now. So that was kind of cool for them to bring that in there just to hint at it. Because the movie takes place just before the whole All for One thing goes on. So, yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. The movie takes place before All Might fought All for One. I mean,
oh, yeah, because
obviously, how else would All Might...
No, because the filler episode was it was back in time. I had to remember, they was like, oh, this happened before.
Yeah.
It's not when we're at, which also is just okay.
Now, one of my other gripes in this wasn't anything about the movie. When I went to the movie theater, and it pissed me off because, it's Tyson's Corner. It's a nice movie theater. You thinking any other movie, they booming sound.
Mm-hmm.
These niggas was playing it like it was a regular show. I was like, so, the impact of All Might Detroit Smile, it wasn't, there was no impact. There was no boom for me, and that made me a little upset. I still like the movie, but that took away the ambiance of the movie. But anyway, so yeah, the movie was about an hour 35. And one part that was kind of weird, so Deku, when he was talking to Melissa at first, it was kind of like they kind of had a flirty type moment.
He already got Johnson
and then
Dex, Slim. He don't need no more.
Uraraka shows up and she's like, "Oh, you having fun, huh?" He's like, "Oh, nah, it wasn't like that. We just talked." She's like, "Oh, I hear you having fun." Then Yayorozu pops up saying the same thing, and then Jiro pops up, and I was like, "Who are y'all? When did y'all start, trying to ride Deku? When did that happen?" So I don't know, but it just for a comedy aspect, basically.
You're gonna end up with Suyu.
Right, ends up with Suyu. Now, that's another thing, because basically all of Class 1A was in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, they weren't all in the movie. Basically, the only people that were actually there fighting was Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki, Lita, Uraraka, Yairozu, Mineta, Kirishima.
So half the class is 20.
Basically. But everybody else, Sero, the dude that's Sugar Rush, I don't know his name. Invisible Girl.
I really feel like they sleeping on Sugar Rush, yo. Because sometimes I even forget, he's in the class.
Yeah.
Because it's son, this dude, can buff up, son, if he eat enough. So it's just why doesn't he do more?
Invisible Girl, Asui, Suyu, Tokoyami, what's the dude? Deathly Arms? I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I forget his name.
I don't remember his name. Dude with Kakashi here. So basically, all of them,
hair and mask,
literally, like they're just chilling. Like they're on the island, but they're just chilling in like their hotel rooms because like they're like, oh well, you know, because to them they're thinking it's just an emergency alert. So they're like, oh, well, I guess we'll just chill. Like Invisible Girl literally pulls out, let's play Uno. She pulls out some Uno cards. I was like, so y'all not even gonna check it out? Like y'all not even gonna go see?
Nope.
Nah, y'all not important enough. Okay, cool. I was a little mad Tokoyami wasn't even there because I was like, I would have liked to see Dark Shadow, you know, at least a little bit, but they was like, nah, we're not gonna do that. So whatever, you know, it just lets you know if Japan does, which they do the character polls to see how popular certain characters are. You already know these ones were probably the most popular, and that's why they're in the movie or doing something in the movie anyway. But yeah, overall, dude, I enjoyed it. It did feel like a extra long episode, but I mean, of course it did.
It's a filler episode,
basically. Yeah,
it's like 3 filler episodes in one.
So I mean, and me and him have had this conversation before as far as like the Naruto relationships of like who would you have wanted Naruto to end up with. In this movie, if I'm going based off this, I would have liked it if Deku ended up with Melissa. You know, if that was a real thing. But of course we know that's not gonna happen. But that'd be cool.
You know, every girl in Naruto's movies would be a better hookup than fucking Hinata. Okay?
It's not even.
Yeah, so we're not gonna go that far. We're not gonna get into that. But you know, I think what I was going to say, like, is for, like, people who have read the manga. I'm, like, for this movie, it's like, all right, yeah, you know, I would like to see it. But we, like I know it's just, like I said, filler for now. Because, wait for season 4, though. Like, we know, like, My Hero, like, the big thing is My Hero, even though they kept some characters out there, maybe we could have saw it, maybe we could have did something. It's like, we're not worried about that. They do well with giving them enough, but we all know we're only worried about a certain number of people. So, like I said, the big 3, the Deku and Bakugo and Todoroki, like, yeah, we're really worried about their story. So, this next season that's coming, and then the season that's coming after that, where we really about to get into, like, the whole big 3, that's, like, that's what I'm looking forward to. So it's like, I'm sure, like, this movie, I'm kind of upset I didn't go see it with you, but I'm it's like, it's fine. I'll catch it when I catch it, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. They haven't really had anything, like, even in their fillers, which they don't do too much of. We've had, like, all right, you know, that was a filler episode, but, you know, it was all right. So I can see, like, that going, and that's basically a tribute to what My Hero is. It's like, it's giving you stuff that you enjoy. Like, it's not taking itself too serious, but then they also have their darker moments where you like, oh yeah,
like one involved.
Oh yeah.
They hear that music, you're like, oh
yeah.
Like,
and the other thing is, now that I've seen, like, remember manga readers, once you've seen him go 10,000%, 100,000%, whatever, it's like, yeah. I don't care about somebody saying, oh, he can go 100% now. No. I've seen him go further than that. Okay, I've seen him throw it, like, put his whole, like, yo, it's
plus ultra.
Right. Yes. I've seen the real. I've seen the real plus ultra. Okay, so, and I'm just waiting to get to that point, because once we get to that point, once we see it, I hope they get it right this time, because they kind of mess it up during the summer
fight.
Yeah, during the muscular
fight. Yeah, they kind
of
sped that up.
Because in the manga, you had a panel in which it showed 10,000 as, like, its own thing. Like, he's like 10,000%. Like, he's putting everything into it. They better put that in the fight.
So now,
okay,
one of my, and I don't really put this on a movie because it's not like I was expecting that for the movie, but one thing I was hoping they would do is maybe show. I mean, I knew they weren't going to do that, but I would have loved, since they were doing flashbacks of All Might when he was younger, back when him and David used to roll together.
What about Night Eye?
I would have loved. Yeah, they didn't even. Nothing. Well, they can't. You can't bring Night Eye in there. They literally just showed him.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you just showed him.
But it's not about Night Eye. It's about David.
I mean, I know they're gonna like the show is going to tell you.
Plus, it was All Might when he was like him and David only really interacted because David was from Cali, so it was basically when All Might was in America.
Yeah,
that's before he became like All Might.
Yeah.
But so one thing I wish they would have done, since apparently David knew about the injury and how he got the injury, I was really, really hoping, I knew they weren't going to, but really, really hoping they would have done the flashback of All Might and All For One's first fight.
Oh, you know they couldn't.
I knew they couldn't do that because that would have had, to be honest, that would have to be its own movie.
Yeah,
but
you couldn't have done that.
I would have loved to have seen at least like the impact, because it's like we see All Might, that gash is like you're like, dang, like I don't know what he hit him with, but he tore him up, and it's like, how you gonna do flashbacks of All Might younger and not show, or at least show the fight when it happened? Because they showed, because there's a moment when Deku's like geeking out about who he is and the suits that he made for him, and he goes based off of him, I guess teenage, maybe early 20s years, golden age one, and then all these different suits, and it's a certain, when it hits a certain one, you see the darkness, like his eyes, you can't see his pupils anymore, and I was like trying to guess when it was that he had the fight with All For One based off of the suits, and I don't know, and that makes me kind of mad because I wish I would have known when he did that. But I mean, like, you can go, like, I've even gone back to try to figure out when his fight with All For One happened. I think I ended up figuring it out. I mean, I don't know exactly what year, but I think Deku at the time would have been like 4 when that fight happened or something. Like, he wouldn't have been that old. I know, because I think All Might said it happened like 4 or 5 years ago. Deku was like 14, so Deku was like 10. But anyway, so
yeah, I'm about to say it had to be somewhat recent.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the My Hero Academia movie was great. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did. And
we can't wait till it comes out, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm getting it.
Like, yeah, it'll be good because
getting it in Blu-ray.
We got some time until season 4. Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway,
because I'm like, today is Saturday, so for us to not be able to be like,
hey, did you see that My Hero episode? Right, like,
yeah, it's we're feeling it. I think we're feeling it.
Withdrawals.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways, so, start hitting the Shigaraki.
Right.
I need it.
Yeah.
But anyway, anybody, if you guys have seen it, leave a comment below. Yeah, what was your favorite part?
Like, smash that subscribe button, all that. YouTube vlog.
Anyway, Grateful Ambassadors, take it easy.